shoulda, woulda, coulda. Today we're looking at Audiobus. After opening Audiobus, you could select an input. In this case, I've selected Polychord and tapped on the icon to launch it. After it launches, Audiobus will reopen, and I add N-Log synth as an effects channel in Audiobus. Finally, you need to send it to an output. For now, we're just going to send it to the speaker. So back in Polychord, I'm going to do some setup. I just tap the MIDI panel. I'm going to turn off the strum and chord MIDI. And this way, we're basically just getting the sound that comes out of Polychord and not sending any MIDI signals. So you could already hear that the sound's a little bit different than normal because it's being filtered by N-Log, which is adding some phase. So now I'm turning up the arpeggiator, and I'm going to turn down all the other sounds. Going into the arpeggiator settings, I'm going to make it faster, and I'm going to give it a random pattern. Now I've switched it to sawtooth wave. So if we go over to N-Log, which you could do through the Audiobus panel, it's a little hard to see here, but I'm going to the effects settings, and I'm just going to turn off some of the preset effects that are already on. And this is going to add some distortion to the sound, kind of an overdrive. Should give us a really nice fat sounding sawtooth wave. So now we can jump back to Polychord and kind of play around with this a little bit. So you're hearing the chord is still on, so I'm going to go into the mixer, and for now I'm just going to turn that chord sound down. And I want a deeper tone, so we're going to go into the arpeggiator settings again and play with the octave. Now this is just the Polychord sound being filtered by one app. Another thing we could do is actually filter from within Polychord. Gives you a little bit of fine-grained control. Go back into N-Log and get an even nastier sound if we want. It's probably more what we're looking for. And we could actually turn on the phaser again. So now I'm switching to a minor palette. It's going to sound a little cooler, I think, this type of sound. So we could also play with the envelope settings of the arpeggiator. Giving it no sustain and a short decay, you get a more percussive sound. So now that I've got that sounding pretty good, I'm going to go ahead and stop the beat, go back to Audiobus, and now we're going to add Funkbox as another input. So Funkbox is another great app. If you don't have it already, you should definitely check it out. Just really nice, classic sounding beats. And if it recognizes MIDI, it's going to launch in MIDI slave mode. And by going to settings, we can go to MIDI routing, and I'm going to go all the way down to virtual ports and turn on the virtual input for clock and control. Now this will actually let Polychord sync with Funkbox, and the remaining step to do that is to actually go down into MIDI settings, just below arpeggiator, and we want to turn on send the MIDI clock sync. So now when we start, we're going to have the beat going too. I'm just going to turn down the phaser a little bit, give it a harder sound. Now, just play that. So there it is, Polychord with Audiobus integration. Really adds a lot of value to what you can do, just a handful of these apps. Hope you enjoy it. Follow us on Twitter at Polychord app for more updates, and rate and review Polychord on iTunes. If you haven't already gotten it, we hope that you check it out. Thanks.